Hey everybody, it's Mucha Marapa from Matrix Global Media and creator of Small Business Saviors. And in this first 5-minute focus that I like to put together, these are videos that are all going to be sort of under 5 minutes where we try and pass on some tips and some value to you. I wanted to address the whole situation of the free consultation because it's something that a lot of people, it divides a lot of emotion. Some people like to go with it, others don't like to go with it. My own opinion is quite mixed, and that would probably be a lesson in itself. But what I wanted to focus on here was actually what was being offered by somebody who's got a very impressive offering out there. Now, her name is Sue B. Zimmerman. I don't know Sue, I've never met her, but I've been very impressed with the offering that she's got, the way she presents it and so on and so forth. And I also like the fact that she seems to be quite an Instagram authority, which is fantastic because I'm trying to learn as much about Instagram as myself. But anyway, as I went through Susie's very impressive site, which allows people to sort of submit their emails for something of great value, I have downloaded this PDF and I'm loving it, so I recommend you do the same as well. But this is what caught my attention here. I saw complimentary consult, and again, I have a mixed opinion about this, but one thing I'm totally and utterly adamant about, a couple of things. Number one is, before you embark on something like this, what do you know firstly about your free consult prospect? And secondly, perhaps even more significant, what do they know about you? And I'll explain where I'm coming from here, because too often I've gone down the route of giving a free consultation, which has been great, but I haven't had enough information before about them, and they certainly haven't had enough information about me as to know what my strengths are and how I may be able to help them. So when I click on over here and we have a look at Sue's next step here, everything is fantastic. She's put, welcome aboard, look forward to welcoming you. Now, to make our 20-minute call most effective, think of the most important things that you want to discuss and send me a message or email beforehand so our time together will be valuable to you. Okay, so Sue is actually doing better than a lot of other folks have done in the past, but I would take it a step further and I would create my own pre-consultation questionnaire, audit. You can really call it what you will, but you want to frame it, and let me explain why. There's a fella out there in the big old wide world here by the name of Nigel Botterill, and this is Nigel here. You can just see him here, this big old smiley facey guy, and I've been very impressed with Nigel. He's a serial entrepreneur, hugely successful, and a great teacher too. I've learned a lot from him in a very short period of time, just looking at a lot of his content and watching his videos. And Nigel came up with a very, very important lot of statistics, and yes, I know it looks here as though he's ready to sort of say, hey, put them up, let's have a fight about it, but he's not, I assure you. He's just a very passionate teacher and really wants people to do well, so I salute you, Nigel. But anyway, what Nigel said in one of his videos was, he gave an overview of a sort of 100%, i.e. for every 100 clients, potential people that you're looking at and businesses, these are the stats, and it was a real eye-opener to me. You see, out of 100, 20% are struggling, 60% are just getting by, 15% are getting there, meaning they're on their way, 4% are rich, doing fab, and 1% are super, super successful. So when we move on here, and if Sue is about to sort of embark on a free 20-minute consult with somebody, I just would prefer if she had it in her mind a little bit more clarity on who she may be speaking to, okay? Because let's be totally honest, we can't help everybody. We don't want to help everybody. We don't want to be magnetic toward everybody. We just want to work with the thoroughbreds. So straight away, in my humble opinion, I think that we've really got to move towards the 15%, the 4%, and the 1%, because in many ways we will be preaching to the converted. Now, what does that mean for the 60 and the 20? Does that mean that we totally ignore them? No, it doesn't. Absolutely not. But if we compile a list of sample questions, something along the line of this. Now, I've combined some sort of personal stuff with some work stuff, but I'm just going to whiz through this very, very quickly and explain the method behind the madness. What frustrates you most about your business or your life right now? What is it you're trying to achieve this year, so you can get the urgency aspect of it? What do you think it would take to double your happiness or business this year? Because straight away then, as a consultant sometimes and as a coach, you don't necessarily have the answers, and it's not always so you need to understand totally yourself. It's so that they can understand their own situation, okay? What have you already tried to do in order to move towards that goal? This is so, so, so important, because they could say, well, I've tried social media and it didn't work, and you could say, well, why in your opinion did it not? But you need to find out, what have they been doing in order to try and sort of cure that pain themselves? What has worked, what has not worked? How much time per week do you allocate to marketing? Because, you know, when I speak to so many people, they're so busy doing so many other things, they don't always have the opportunity to actually market. Okay? Do you currently work with an advisor? So therefore, again, if you are looking to pass on your products, your services, your programs, yourself as far as a consultant, do they currently have somebody, or will this be a new experience to them? If yes, how often? If no, who does your marketing at your organization? Now, in a funny sort of way, when you're passing on all these questions, it often sort of makes them look at their situation a lot more detailed too, and think, wow, I'm not necessarily calling in a miracle worker. I'm bringing someone here who can just sort of get some basic fundamentals in place. Do you have a marketing budget? This is absolutely key, because if they can't afford you, if they haven't got a mindset that they're willing to sort of apply to that, then there's very little point in you talking to them in the first place. Do you have a marketing schedule? That is so important, or schedule, as our friends across the pond like to say. Please, can you send me examples of your marketing? So you're asking them on their results. You're saying, okay, so you've tried social media. How did you do? Okay, you've set up an email newsletter. How many sales are you getting on the back of things like that? Then you say, what do you hope to accomplish from our free consultation? So you want them to turn it around and say, well, I would like to get more ideas on what I could do, or how I could be absolutely fantastic at Instagram, or whatever like that, in the case of Sue there. And then you can also say, which aspects of my offering are you familiar with? Now, this is really, really, really important, because when I look at Sue's offering here, I didn't realize she does some pretty cool logos and things like that as well. So what you want to do, at least when you sit down with somebody to have that consultation with them, you at least want to make sure that they know what you do, what you bring to the table, and how you can help. I've had so many situations where I've sat down with somebody and they haven't known a whole lot about me. They've expected total done for you services, or they've expected me to sort of do certain things that I wasn't anticipating doing. And you know what? The buck stopped with me. It all boiled down to the way I was positioning myself and what my marketing messages were. So it's really, really important that you ask these questions. So I hope this has helped. Apologies, it's not much of a 5-minute focus launch, the fact that I've actually gone over 5 minutes. But I thought this was so important, and I would love it for you to come to the Facebook page, Small Business Saviors, facebook.com// Small Business Saviors, and share with me, if you do give free consultations, how do they help? I want you to think in many ways of providing an initial marketing audit or a consultation strategy. Ask some questions so that you can know, in fact, who is it you're speaking to? What does their mindset tell you? Does it tell you they're getting there? Does it tell you that they are super successful already? Or does it tell you they are struggling? Thanks for joining me on this. I look forward to your comments, look forward to working very closely with you. This is Mucha Marapa from Matrix Global Media. Look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon.